yourself in a relationship where things feel a little, well, static. Maybe that initial buzz has kind of settled down and you're looking to, maybe reignite things or just connect more deeply.
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe just grow together in a more intentional way.
Exactly. But figuring out how isn't always obvious, is it?
Not at all. It's a super common feeling, though. That desire for something, well, richer. It's pretty universal.
Totally. So today we're doing a deep dive that's kind of a shortcut, really. It's about understanding how putting in some real effort and doing some pretty deep thinking can actually transform your relationship.
Right. And we're using a fantastic guide for this.
We are. It's Shirley Denise Horton's Sketchy Situations Couples Journal Diary. Think of it as a roadmap, blending like practical tools with maybe a touch of spiritual insight too.
It's a really interesting mix.
At its heart, this journal keeps saying that relationships are a forever evolving process, which means they definitely take work, right? From both partners.
Absolutely. No coasting allowed.
And the author suggests the real change starts with having an open mindset, just being willing to embrace new perspectives.
That's the key, isn't it? That openness.
It's like seeing every challenge, every ending, as she puts it, as actually having the potential for a new beginning.
It's such a powerful way to frame things.
Yeah.
Because it shifts the focus from fixing something broken to this idea of continuous dynamic growth.
Yeah.
The journal sees challenges not as dead ends, but as like pivot points, opportunities almost.
Right.
And that proactive open mindset, that's step one. Realizing that change, starts inside you before it shows up in the relationship.
That reframing feels huge, and we're going to unpack some really specific exercises and honestly some quite thought-provoking questions from this journal today. Stuff designed to help you break out of those maybe negative cycles, build trust, deepen that connection.
And it's that blend, like you said, the practical things to do, plus the deeper reflection that makes it pretty unique.
Yeah, it feels quite holistic.
Definitely.
Okay.
So if you're listening thinking, yeah, I want to rekindle something, or even just take a good relationship and make it, great.
And stick around.
Exactly. We're going to explore how these ideas might just spark something new for you.
Okay, so let's dive in. The journal really insists that growth starts by looking inward.
Yeah.
Deeply. It says you need to reflect, acknowledge, recognize, and learn from past situations to move forward by breaking negative cycles and implementing more positive ones.
That's quite a process right there. Reflect, acknowledge, recognize, learn.
It is. And then it immediately says you need that open mindset, because if you change how you think, your mind, your heart, and your very soul will change. That's a big promise.
It really is. But there's real psychological weight behind it. It's not just thinking happy thoughts. It's more like fundamentally rewiring how you see things, how you react.
Okay.
So when you actually do that internal work, looking at patterns, owning your part, choosing differently, it's not just you feeling it.
Your partner feels it too.
Absolutely. It becomes visible, tangible.
Right.
Your whole way of interacting starts to shift. And the journal also brings in a spiritual angle for some, suggesting keeping the Word of God at the center for true intentions.
Right, as a guiding principle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For many, that's a really important anchor, grounding things in shared values, especially when times get tough.
Sure.
But even if that specific path isn't yours, the core idea is still powerful. Right?
Yeah.
Finding some kind of shared principles, ethical, maybe philosophical, that gives you framework.
Yeah, common ground.
Right? Because as the journal reminds us, no one is perfect, and know that every relationship is going to take work. It's not about perfection. It's about the consistent effort.
That feels more achievable. Embracing the journey, the work involved.
Yeah.
And speaking of journeys and beginnings, there's this really simple, but I think quite clever instruction early on.
Yeah.
Don't forget to place your couple selfie in your Sketchy Situations book on page 5 so that you are able to reflect back on where it all began.
Ah, I love that. It's more than just sticking a photo in, isn't it?
It feels like it. Why do you think that's so powerful?
Well, psychologically, that visual anchor is huge. Think about it when things get tense or you're doubting things. Having that actual picture, that selfie from the start, lets you actively remember the joy, the connection, the reasons you came together.
Like a reset button almost.
Kind of. It's a grounding technique, a reminder of your why, especially when you're about to tackle some of the journal's tougher questions. It keeps you connected to the core value of the relationship.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so you've got your selfie in place, you're grounded. Then the journal moves into these thoughts to ponder.
Right, the question sections.
Yeah, pre-written ones for his and hers. But it says you can personalize them too. And some are quite direct. Like, How does your wife or significant other compare to your ideal woman? And the same for the other partner, your ideal man.
Whoa. Okay. That sounds potentially tricky.
Right. But then it has this follow-up. If you said that she is your ideal woman, you are on the right track.
Ah, okay. So it's sort of nudging you towards appreciation.
Maybe. What's the value in asking that kind of ideal question, do you think?
Well, I think it taps into those unspoken expectations we all carry around, that fantasy partner.
Sure.
So the point isn't necessarily to say, yep, perfect match. It's more about becoming aware of any gap between your ideal and your reality. And maybe questioning the ideal itself.
Oh, interesting. So if you don't say they're your ideal.
It's not failure, it's an invitation. An invitation to explore why. Maybe your idea of ideal needs updating to actually appreciate the amazing real person you're with.
Okay, so it's less comparison, more appreciation, and maybe adjusting expectations.
Exactly. Bridging that fantasy reality gap and creating space to talk about what you do value in each other.
Gotcha. Then it pushes a bit more. It asks, what would you like to try that's different from the norm?
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Shaking things up.
Yeah. And then, maybe the most vulnerable one. Is there anything that you would change? Be honest, this is you and your partner's safe space. That emphasis on the safe space feels critical.
Absolutely essential. Because asking what's different invites new adventures, fights stagnation, But asking what would you change within that explicitly safe space that requires real courage.
For both sides, I imagine.
Definitely. Courage to speak your truth gently and courage to hear it without getting defensive. It's about saying, okay, how can we grow here? Not what's wrong with you.
That distinction is key.
Yeah. This kind of honest, safe dialogue is really how intimacy gets deeper, how you move beyond just like living side by side.
Building on that communication theme, the journal tackles love languages. Pretty foundational stuff.
Oh yeah, classic for a reason.
It asks straight up, what's your love language? Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. Explain why below.
The explain why is important.
It is. And then the clincher. Express or show your selected love language to your partner.
Ah, the action step. See, knowing your partner's love language is one thing.
Right.
But if you don't actually use that knowledge, if you keep showing love in your preferred way instead of theirs,
It can totally miss the mark.
exactly. You end up feeling unloved or unseen, even when your partner is trying. So this exercise forces you to not just identify it and understand why it matters to you, but then to actively demonstrate it.
Closing the loop.
Precisely. It makes sure the love you're sending is actually being received as love. Super practical for everyday connection.
Such a good takeaway, turning knowledge into action. Okay, let's shift gears a bit to the more active stuff, the life-changing couples exercises.
Okay.
Specifically, the trust-building exercises described as activities designed to strengthen relationships and foster a sense of reliance.
Sounds intense.
First one is a classic, the trust fall.
Ah, yes. The ultimate camp activity, right?
Totally. The journal says, one person falls backwards, trusting their teammates to catch them, demonstrating the couple providing one another security and safety.
It might seem a bit corny, but the physical act here is really powerful for emotional trust.
How so?
Well, your body kind of remembers that feeling of being caught, of being physically supported. It reinforces a basic sense of security on a really primal level. It's like a physical rehearsal for the emotional falls that inevitably happen in life. It builds confidence that your partner will, be there.
So it creates a shared memory of safety.
Exactly. It's experiencing trust, not just talking about it. Very tangible.
Okay, that makes sense. Then there's another one, two truths and a lie. This one feels a bit lighter.
Yeah, definitely less physically risky.
For sure. The description is, each person shares 3 statements, 2 true and 1 false, and the partner guesses which is the lie, encouraging honesty and listening.
I actually love this one for relationships. It seems simple, but it really sharpens your listening skills.
Ow.
You have to pay super close attention, not just to what they say,
Yeah.
but how they say it. Their tone, their little micro expressions. You're looking for tells.
Like a fun lie detector test.
Kind of. And it creates this playful space for honesty and, gentle deception, which paradoxically builds intimacy. You learn to read each other better.
That's interesting.
And the journal defines trust as the firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability,